13signsastrology.com. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ram Hotep. Just out here enjoying these positive vibes. It's in the morning time. I'm connecting with the earth. Feeling really good, really balanced. And just doing some reflecting, and spirit, speaks to me when I get out here and just start connecting with the earth. And I get a chance to really do a lot of channeling and connecting with this world that we live in, just connecting with my environment and just connecting with even the cosmos. It's like when you're out here on Earth, it's like you have a connection with the celestial realm, and then you also have a connection with the terrestrial realm because you're like directly out here. So that's why I like to do a lot of videos and different things like that in nature, because when you're in a building, and the way these buildings are built, they block our spirit. They block our crown chakra. See, that's why, like in the Egyptians, they built pyramid type of buildings. And shout out to the Olmecs out there and the mound builders and the Aztecs and people that come from that particular ancestral bloodline. They built mounds and things that at the top had somewhat of a point to it, because they could channel in that celestial energy into the building they were in, and their spirit was able to, and their Merkaba was able to move around and breathe and be able to adjust itself a certain type of way because of the way that the structure that they were in was built. Whereas now, we live in these houses and they're basically, pretty basic. It's just four walls and then a roof, and the roof is flat, so can't no celestial energy come in through the house. So like you can't really connect with spirit when you just sitting around in the house all day and things of that nature, because the way that these houses are built and these homes are built, and like architecture is very key, and building is very key when it comes to understanding sacred geometry and understanding our connection with this earth. And not only that, but based upon who we are as a being, we have a spiritual part of us that has to be outside in fresh air, or that has to be able to connect on all levels with all the different rays that are traveling throughout our cipher. So what I wanted to get into very briefly was to talk about Venus, the Venus retrograde, and your ancestral connection that you have with this Venus retrograde. See, right now Venus is stationary retrograde. When a planet goes retrograde, a lot of people get scared, a lot of people get all, anxious, and they think that, it's the end of the world, or it's the end of this, and it's the end of that. And a lot of people have this belief that when Venus goes retrograde, your relationship is going to go on the rocks, and you're going to start rethinking things about your relationship. You might lose your relationship partner, or, you might be in a state where you're lonely. Venus retrograde affects women a lot more so than men, because of women are more magnetic and they're more connected to Venus or Inanna or Ishtar or Isis. You guys have a connection with her, of course, because you are in a feminine shell and a feminine body. But Venus does affect men. Venus retrogrades affects men. It can affect the way you view women. It affects men basically based upon our perception of women. So what the Venus retrograde has been telling me is that this is a time where we need to reconnect with women in our ancestral line, because we all need healing. The feminine principle, or the feminine aspect of ourselves, need to be healed. Our viewpoint on women needs to be healed, and this is even speaking to women. Women don't really understand who they are, and men don't understand who women are, because we've lost the knowledge of ourselves. So when Venus goes retrograde, or any planet goes retrograde for that matter, this causes you to think about, or to have even past life memories based upon the energies of that planet. So by Venus going retrograde, you're going to begin to have past life memories about females in your ancestral line, or even times when you may have been a female. You're going to have memories. Women may have past life memories of different times when they were in different bodies. You may start having past life memories when you were a male, or you may start having past life memories when you were a child. So this is a time to repair or to remember your ancestral line, which is very key. See, we have a connection with the ancestors as much as we do and have a connection with uh, the celestial realm. So we have celestial ancestors, but then we have terrestrial ancestors. And a lot of occult rituals that we partake in, and when we start calling on like maybe angels, because most occult rituals, they deal with angels, and some of them deal with demons as well. But what you got to remember, when you calling on angels and demons, these are more so your celestial ancestors. These are your ancestors that go way back when you were first originating as a soul. But then you also have a connection with ancestors that incarnated here on this earth. You actually have more of a connection with them, and it's easier to connect with them. A lot of people think they're crazy because they have not connected with the ancestors that exist here on this earth with them, and they're using your body, and you think that it's you, but it's like you're being used as a medium to do certain things. So when you connect with your ancestors here on the terrestrial realm, you begin to understand why you think certain thoughts, why you do certain things, because you have cords that connect with them. And they have the right, according to the universe, to work through you, whether you're conscious of it or not, because this helps them to solve lessons that they are experiencing on the other side, to help them to be able to ascend or to possibly be able to reincarnate back so that they can solve their karma. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your ancestors. So you have a deep connection with your ancestors, and you have to learn the relationship that the planets have with your ancestors. So Venus being retrograde, has an effect on the cosmic level because it's retrograding in Leo according to the 13 sign system. And those of you that prescribe to the 12 sign system, it is retrograding in Virgo. But it's actually going to still go back into Leo, even in 12 signs. So this is letting you know that this is going to be a deep energy for, people to have connection with cats and people to have a connection with this Leo energy, because this Leo energy is represented by Sekhmet, according to the ancient Egyptians, and she was a cat. So this is going to be a time where we're going to have a lot of memories, but we have to repair ourselves on the earth based upon where Venus is retrograding on the earth. See, she may be retrograding in 12 degrees Leo according to your natal chart, but she also is going to be retrograding in a particular area in your natal chart, in a particular house. See, a house is the environment. This is the earth. The houses in your natal chart, this represents the earth. The constellations represent the solar system. The constellations on an esoteric level represent the character or the actor, and the house represents the stage. I've taught this before. So this is the stage where it all plays out at based on the house. The earth is the stage. This is the realm. And say, for instance, if Venus is retrograding in your 4th house, or in your 8th house, or even in your 12th house, these are your water houses. So this is going to help you to be able to connect with the water aspect of your spirit. This is going to help you to connect with the occult for people that have Venus retrograding in the 8th house. This is going to help you to connect with the subconscious mind. These are the water aspects of your being. You have 3 different water aspects of your being. You have the occult aspect, which is the hidden aspect that you know nothing of, the hidden aspect of your being, which is the etheric aspect. You have the subconscious aspect, which connects with water, which is your subconscious mind. And then you also have in the 4th house, which links into the root chakra, and this is your connection with your ancestors. These are water houses, so this is the connection that you share on this earth with your ancestors. So it's important that those people that are still partaking in the ritual, I'm going to give you the last piece of the ritual now, because I didn't tell people what to do with semen. Now, I know it might seem like I'm jumping around here, but you got to follow my other videos and you'll be able to follow me. I put together a ritual for those people that are privy to it and watch the video, basically a public ritual, and I have to close it out and telling men what to do with their semen. And I want you to put your semen on your altar, and I want you to offer your semen up to a female ancestor of your choice. And I want you to ask her to transform your semen into your goal on the etheric level, and I want you to say Ashe 13 times after that. So I want you to ask her, say for instance, if you wished for a vehicle or a car, because you were wishing for something material, because the whole ritual was based on more of a material thing, using your sexual energy to manifest material things. So you may have been wishing for a vehicle or a car. If you wishing for a vehicle or a car, I want you to hold your semen in a cup and ask your ancestors, say for instance, you asking Sekhmet, say Sekhmet, I want you to transform the semen into my car. And you want to say Ashe 13 times after that. And then you want to sit the semen on the altar and leave the semen on the altar until, like I told you, the next new moon. And then after that, you're going to dispose of the semen by taking it outside somewhere, or, running some water, because it's going to be hardened by then, of course. In this container that you use, or whatever jar that you use, is going to be hardened. So you want to wash it out and keep the water in it that you wash out, get it loosened up, and then mix it up with some water and then pour it on the earth outside, and giving it back to the earth and giving it back to the ancestors. So it's important that we acknowledge our ancestors. See, people that study voodoo and different forms of ancestral worship have a deep connection to understand these things, and this is why a lot of their rituals are very successful, because of the fact that they pour libations to their ancestors. The ancestors just want to be acknowledged. You might want to offer your semen up. You don't have to necessarily say Sekhmet. You may have a female ancestor in your line, in your bloodline, that you want to offer your semen up to, and she's petitioning in the spirit realm on your behalf. So this is why you want to use an ancestor, because they have a direct connection with the spirit realm and a direct connection with you through blood. Through blood. So you can say those people that don't know their ancestors, their female ancestors, and they may not know their names, you can just use like a deity as some type of an archetype, like Sekhmet, or you can use Virgin Mary, you can use the Mother Mary. I mean, you could just choose a female of your choice. It could be a female out the Bible. Doesn't really matter, because those are all of our ancestors too. We have blood connections with them. We are all related to them. So you want to do this offering, then you want to pour it out as libations and say Ashe once you go outside and pour the semen on the ground, and you want to release the ritual. From there, the ritual will be complete. So I hope that helped. Those particular people that have your natal chart, I suggest that you go and look and see where Venus is in your natal chart, where Venus is transiting. And I want you to do some focusing and meditating on manifesting or repairing in that area of your life. Like if it's in the second house, it's up to you to know what the houses mean. You have to know what each house means. And when the planets are transiting these houses, you have to work rituals based on the energies associated with these houses. So I hope that helped. I'll be on Twitter and different forms of social media for people that have questions that may not can afford a consultation. I do answer questions on Twitter. And for those people that have consultations booked, feel free to ask me where Venus is retrograding in your chart. So I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for watching. Remember the ancestors. Remember the feminine force. Let's heal the feminine force. And until my next video, I'm going to go ahead and shut down. Peace. Ashe.